track plan. That is a picture, a composite picture of the original track plan of the layout when I bought it. I will put a link to a photo bucket resource where that picture will be. I'll also redraw the track plan as it is now and put a picture of that there as well. Basically, it consists of 3 independent circuits. When it was originally bought, the innermost circuit, well, all 3 circuits ran around the back of the scenic section of the layout that you can see here, and so they run around the back. And the innermost circuit obviously had the tightest curves and the shortest platform, and that circuit was designated as a branch line. The other 2 circuits with slightly longer platforms and wider radius curves could be designated as the main lines. As I've now got it in a shed as a semi-permanent layout, then all the lines are curving around the outside of the shed, and so they've been curved in a different direction. Just to point out that with this particular layout there are only track feeds in 2 places. At this end on the curves and at the opposite end on the curves. What that means is that by using insel frog points, the 2 main running lines split into 4, so that we have 1, 2 lines on the up line, 1, 2 lines on the down line. And it's possible to isolate a train in the station by setting the points to the other line, which will remove the power from that line and switch the power to this line, so that it's possible to have what might be called a slow or passing loop. So a train can pull into the station, stop, and an express train can come through on the other line when the points are changed over. Between the 2 main running lines, let's call them the main lines, there's only a crossover at one point, and that's here. It happens to use points which are not motorised, so you have to set it manually. The other points are motorised. There's no crossover in the fiddle yard area. There is a crossover at both ends of the station from the branch line onto the nearest of the main running lines, so that it's possible for trains to swap from branch onto a main line, but only in running in that direction. All of these crossings are non-prototypical because they're facing, assuming that it's British road running, where the left-hand line runs that way, this one runs the other way, then these are facing points, and facing points would not be used, depending on which way the branch line is working. This is not a facing point, but at the other end it's obviously a facing point. But it does give a way for an engine to run around its train if it's on the branch line. So on the branch line you can have a train coming into the station and then reversing back out again, which might be typical if it's a branch to a terminus. Whereas on the other main running lines you would run into the fiddle yard. Initially, as I say, 3 lines. There was 1 road in the fiddle yard on this one when it ran behind, 2 roads on that one, and 2 roads on that one. So in total there were only 5 roads in the fiddle yard. 2 for one line, 2 for the other line, and a single road for the other, for this one. What I've done now in the shed is change that so that there are 3 roads each for the 2 main running lines, and then it splits into 2 for a short section. I didn't want to have 2 lines running over the door, so I kept it all single track until we get to here. So you've got 2 roads on, I'm still designating it as branch line, but on the 3rd running line. And again, with the fiddle yard, having just the two track feeds, when a particular road in the fiddle yard is set, that is powered by the points. So it's entirely the operation of the insulfrog points that controls which line is live. And so that really, for the basic setup, simplifies operation, simplifies powering up. When it was an exhibition circuit, there were quite a few wires and connections underneath, partly to go to the point motors, but also at each baseboard join. So at each baseboard join there were 25-way, at least two 25-way deconnectors to connect the tracks across the join, but no additional power feeds. It was just transferring the power from one side to the other, and that's how it is still at the moment until I do further rewiring to get it running on DCC. Thank you. That's just a very brief introduction. I might do another one as to the layout track plan. I'll talk through it.